Scary. I just almost spilled my wine. Whiners, are we going to need more wine? I think I used to say that in season 1. Or Carolyn used to say that in season 1. Maybe that was our little tagline. Whiners, are we going to need more wine? It's not bad. It's good. Happy New Year. Happy January. Happy 34th birthday to me. Yours truly, P. Honey. First of all, the chin is chinning, honey. Check out those side angles. Check out the prophy. I hope y'all enjoyed last episode. Episode 70, Great Idea Redhead, Rachel and I gave y'all the down low on our whole chin surge, and it's pretty good. So if you haven't listened to it yet, and you saw that me and her got chin lipo, and if I talk about my chin, which obviously I just paid money for, I'm going to be talking about it, and I'm just so happy with it. It's still a little lumpy bumpy, I would say. But that is predicted to all go down soon. So if you want to hear more details and you haven't listened to episode 70 quite yet, why don't you go ahead and do so. Travel backwards for a minute. But the chin is chinning. It's the Texas Arctic blast right now. We had a freeze, I guess we're in 2024. So this would have been in 2022. Does that make sense? I think 2022. God, it was a disaster. And honestly, I feel bad. I feel guilty because I wasn't even a part of it here in Texas, because I had moved here, but I was still working for the studio. So I think I had been on a month job at that point. I left my apartment, fine. I left it fine, and it turned out to be fine. But you're supposed to do all these different sort of things with keep your faucet dripping a little bit so when it freezes over your pipes don't burst, because we're just not made to be frozen here in Texas. Apparently that's the vibe and the information I'm getting from everyone. So how annoying is it that I have my faucet running? Anyway, so 2 years ago I missed that whole thing, and then I guess once a year we definitely do get this cold, this freeze. And so that's happening literally today and tomorrow, and by the time this episode comes out on Thursday, hopefully it will be gone and dead and gone. But it's I didn't go to the grocery store for my normal life thing, so I don't really have that much food. And I'm seeing all these videos of people online just really aggressively getting their flats of water, and the stores just have nothing on their shelves. And it just is kind of giving me COVID vibes, and I don't like it. And so I'm just gonna try and survive with what I have here. Everyone's oh, you're on the second floor, you should be good as far as your pipes and whatnot. And it's have you heard me talk about my building before? I don't think I'll be good at all. So originally I was going to film the solo episode tomorrow night, just because I knew I was potentially going to be a little hung from my birthday yesterday, which we'll talk about. And good news, I'm not hung, but I am tired and in the mood to just, typically Monday nights I like to do a whole lot of fucking nothing. It's even if I don't do anything over the weekend, I just use Monday nights as my regroup, relax, watch a few hours of television, and just turn off my mind to the world. So anyway, because that the freeze might affect the power and stuff like that, I'm trying to get this episode in ASAP poo. So we switched it to the day before. But yeah, so it's very annoying. I have the faucets running a little bit, and I keep, out of habit, every time I go wash my hands, I turn the faucet off, or, you know what I mean? Or I'm walking by the bathroom, or I can even hear it from my office when I was working today. I can hear the faucet running, and I'm oh my God, is there water running? And then I go in and I turn it off. Yeah, it's running on purpose. I changed it to be running because that's what we're supposed to be doing. So y'all know I don't like the heater, but I have had the heater on. I woke up this morning and my house was 51 degrees. So I had to turn the heater on, even though they placed a warning on us, and they were try to conserve electronics. Try to conserve electric. Is that what I'm trying to say? Try to conserve, bitch. That's what they said. So 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. today, tomorrow, we're supposed to conserve and not use shit. So I've been keeping all my lights off all day, except for right now with these lights on right now. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. But yeah, it's fucking cold. I worked today. I had a blanket on, first time for everything. I did run out to get coffee this morning because treat yourself, it's still my birthday in my head. And I wanted to get like a fancy latte, and my windshield was completely iced over. So that's the first time I experienced that. I will have to, that was fucking scary. My door to the studio just opened and my heart dropped into my vagina. But I think it just might not have been closed all the way, because if it was somebody, I'm sure they would have busted through the door and not slightly opened the door like it just did. Hello? Is anyone there? Okay, I think we're good. Who's doing burglaries in this weather? You know what I'm saying? Who's doing burglaries in this weather? Okay. Back on track. Okay, yeah, but basically the last solo episode, I was about to go to California for Christmas. I know we talked a little bit about New Year's, I think, with Rachel in the last episode, but I spent Christmas in LA, where I'm from, and then I was actually supposed to go somewhere for New Year's. That ended up getting cut short before I went. I think I mentioned that as well, and actually totally worked out for the best, because I ended up getting very, very ill while I was there. So let's break down Christmas to start with. No shade to my family back at home in LA, but I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed myself. Again, no shade. I love you guys, but like, I don't know. I was kind of excited to be at home, like in my own home for Christmas, as I was, and I wanted to do my Christmas decor and all that. And like, I've just made Houston my home now, that it's kind of like, I don't need y'all a little bit. Like, I'm doing my own thing. See you when I see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. And, but actually, I just really, truly, fully enjoyed being home with two of my sisters, and then my niece and nephew, of course. And we did exactly what I said I was going to do in the episode. We lounged around in PJs, ate bagels, so yummy, lox and bagels. I puzzled nonstop, played Mario, watched so many rom-com movies, so many Christmas movies. I just had the best time, and just good quality time with my sisters. So that was really, really nice. I hope y'all had a great Christmas and a great New Year's. I ended up getting sick. So one of my sisters let us know before she came. Courtney was like, hey, I am not feeling that great. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. And me and my other sister were like, okay, look, thank you, but like, obviously we still want to see you if you're still up to it, you know? So she ended up coming. She was pretty sick, like headache and stuff like that, and like lethargic. And I wasn't like, I mean, I gave her a hug when she picked me up from the airport, but I was like not really sitting too close to her, you know? I was like, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. And I was getting a little bit nervous because I had my chin surgery coming up when I got home the week after New Year. So I was like, oh God, but I can't get sick. Well, my sister Courtney leaves back to go like Christmas Day night or the day after Christmas. But anyway, I spent 2 days with her. And then I was like, I feel sick. Oh my God, I feel sick. And my sister's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Because I had things to do. I had people to see. It was a long trip. I was excited to see some of my friends that I haven't had the chance to make time for in my previous visits. I had a very big life event in another one of my friends' lives that I was specifically like changed plans around to attend. I know I mentioned I went to a funeral last time I was in town, and that is true. And this was another funeral that I was going to be attending. And so that's an integral part of the story, because not that I was looking forward to going to a funeral, but I was very much looking forward to be able to go and support my friend, and because just it was an awful situation of what happened. And anyway, so that was supposed to be happening the 30th. And I was like, I'm not sick, but like I was feeling sick. And I was like, it's probably just allergies. So I was taking allergy medicine. And sure enough, I woke up the next day in the middle of the night, absolute body aches, absolute chills. Just everyone was sick. I feel like for the last 2 months, there's been one person in at least every group that I know, people have been sick. So I was just absolutely so ill. You know when it hurts to even like take a shower, but you know you got to take a shower because you're going to feel good. You're going to feel better after the shower kind of thing. It was that kind. And I came out and my sister was like, oh no. I was like, I'm definitely sick. Like we tried to will it away. I'm not. I'm sick. It got progressively worse. I tried to like nap and stuff. It just progressively worse. My eyes started to hurt again, which was like the main symptom that I had during COVID the first time. So I was really freaked out about that. I ended up taking the at-home test and I was negative. I took 2 while I was in town. But anyway, ended up talking to my friend and saying like, hey, like I'm negative for COVID. It could be a false negative, but also like, are you going to be okay if I go to the funeral? And even if I can get myself to get the energy to go, which I don't even think I can, are you guys going to be okay with that? And she's like, ugh. I just don't know how that's going to be possible type of thing. And so I was supposed to be leaving. This was Thursday morning. I woke up ill. The funeral was supposed to be the next day and I was supposed to be leaving Saturday. And I had to make like a quick decision. And I was like, if I am not going to the funeral and if I feel this terrible, I can't possibly be forced to stay on somebody else's couch while I'm sick. You know what I mean? Like, there's just nothing worse than being uncomfortable in somebody else's home. Like, even it's my home. I get it. It's my sister's house. But, like, that was even making me feel worse. So I was like, okay, if I'm not going to the funeral, if I'm not going to see any more people, and if this continues, I need to get my ass home. So I felt really guilty about it. But I did take I got a negative COVID test, and I switched my flight, booked it, put a mask on, was dressed head to toe, like trying not to touch anyone. I brought sanitizing wipes, mask on, sunglasses on, and I flew home. I had to get my ass home to Houston. So, I mean, besides that, Christmas was fun. Great. Watched movies, puzzled, blah, blah, blah. Had a blast. My sister made king crab legs, by the way. Whoa, that was good. So very happy about that, but then I got sick, had to get my ass home. So it was so bad that I had to get my niece while I was still in California, I was like, okay, can you Instacart stuff for me? I can't really look at my phone. Like my eyes were hurting that bad. I think I'm going to classify that as a migraine. I think I've only had one migraine before in my life and it was very debilitating. And I think that's what it was. It was hurting to even look at my phone screen. So my niece hooked me up and, I told her what to order, and I had an Instacart waiting for me when I got home, which I'll go into more later because that is actually my wine of the week. But yeah, so flew home, and I was sick for that was Thursday night. New Year's was Saturday. New Year's Eve was Saturday, I think. And I was sick through New Year's. So, which was like kind of a bummer, but kind of not, because my original New Year's plans, I was supposed to be somewhere else on a vacation somewhere, and that didn't happen. So then I had in my head that, okay, there were 2 opportunities for me to do something back here in Houston since I was going to be coming home for that. I was going to be home by the 30th. So there was a big party that a lot of people that I knew were going to, that I was like, okay, I'll either do that or I'll stay at home. And honestly, I did that before and I've loved that. Just like New Year's is overrated, Then being like forced to stay home, do you know what I mean? Like because I was so sick. The decision was out of my hands. So then I, of course, didn't like being at home, right? You know how that works. You can't have your cake. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So, and I didn't do any vision boarding. I didn't do any resolutions. Haven't even thought, by the way. I haven't even thought for a TikTok second about what I want to improve on or do better on or do more of this year. But I am going to do that. I think I'm going to book one of those getaway houses. I did this a couple years ago. I went on a one night, just little camping trip by myself. I would characterize it as glamping because it is like in like a little one of those like tin can motorhome situations. What are they called? Airstreams. Something like that. Anyway, so I am thinking of doing that again for myself and maybe doing some sort of brain exercise vision board situation for the upcoming year. But I haven't even done that yet. I've just been go. And I honestly really haven't even been drinking that much too. That's kind of off topic, but because the last time I really drank was at my friend's Christmas party that she threw, the bring your own board charcuterie event. And I got pretty drunk that night. But then I had to get on antibiotics for something. Then I got sick. Then I was not supposed to drink before my chin surgery. So I kind of haven't really drank until my birthday, which again, we'll get to that, which was yesterday. Today is the 15th, Martin Luther King Day. Happy Martin Luther King Day. I have to tell you guys something. I think you're going to be shook. I think you're going to be shocked, thrown back, sit down. Are you sitting down? Because this is newsworthy behavior. This is shocking. And I know what you're going to say afterwards. You're going to say, hate to say so, but told you so. Hate to say so, but told you so. And it's like, get in line. Do you know what I mean? Get in line with everyone else and their fucking mother, brother, sister who's going to say this to me. I accept it. I'm taking it. But it's like, just so you guys know, I knew all along that, okay, let me just get to the point. Here's what happened. I went on a date with a short king. And I had a great time. And he was given tall king energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to give you the ins and outs of the date yet, because you know how I do. I don't talk really about something until either it's like going well or like it's a closed book. And this is just kind of neither here nor there. This is just, I don't know what to call it. Just a moment, just to go with the flow moment, which is so what I'm going to be this year. Like, watch out 2024. And honestly, I hate when people say that it's like, it's your year, but like, I think it is my fucking year, guys. So there's that. But anyway, matched with this guy. And I could tell he was short by his photos because he, no shade, but like posted a lot of photos with people that were taller than him. And it's like, okay, I was like, he's 6 foot max. But I loved the energy. He immediately asked me out. And actually, segue really quick, guys, because I actually did manifest this. So the thing that I am like being weirdly evasive about is like, just because it's a story that I'm not wanting to tell yet because I don't know. I'm just like, I guess I'm not even angry about it anymore, but you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm not ready to tell the story yet. Blah, blah, blah. But it was a major loss in the dating department. Major loss. Like, what an absolute disaster that was. And so to have a win with this guy really meant a lot. Like, I don't know, not necessarily for my self-esteem, but just like I needed a win and I got it. And so basically during Christmas, while I was telling my sisters the situation for New Year's, I was like, here's what I'm going to do in 2024. I'm so done being too much an extra with these men, asterisk boys, who don't deserve me. Like, I put so much initiative in first and I give so much effort and so much. Like, I'm just doing too much. Like, I'm not trying to get down on myself, but like, I'm doing too much. Like, no one's asking me to do it and I'm doing it. Like, it's just like the story of my life, which like I've mastered with my friendships and I still have to master that with the relationships with men that I end up having. So I manifested. I was like, I want rom-com energy, which I've said before, but I was like, I'm not asking myself out on a date. Like, if I'm talking to you and it's taking too long and it's pen palish, I'm just going to stop talking to you. I'm not going to be like, well, we should meet up for a drink soon. Like, I don't want to at this point in time. I really want you to show me that you want me. Show me the effort first, and then I'm happy to reciprocate. And it's not in like a negative, oh my God, I'm over dating, I'm over putting in the effort way. It's I think I really just understand my value now. And I thought I did before, but it just feels very right that I feel very right and confident about it now. So anyway, I manifested rom-com energy. I want just like big dick energy. Just come at me with a plan, romance me, show me that you're interested in whatever way that is, show me. And I swear to God, I matched with this guy. And he was like, hey, should we message on here until we mutually ghost each other, or can I take you out on a date? And I was like, I'll go the date route. He's like, great, Tuesday at 8. And I said, okay, sounds good. Great date. And I'm not going to tell you about the dates at this time, but what I am going to tell you is that's the behavior and that's the attitude and that's the energy that I want. And I'm just not going to accept much less. So now I have to say, like, a lot of the things he was doing was like above and beyond. Like, that was so gracious. That was so nice. Like, what a gentleman. Always be a gentleman, of course, right? Like, I'm not looking for specific things or somebody to do things for me, but I felt valued in his presence. I felt cared for. I felt appreciated. I felt liked. I felt adored. I felt protected. Like, I mean, if something was to go wrong, like he was going to be able to handle it. Do you know what I mean? And like all this is going to say is like the guy was 5'11". The guy was 5'11". And I went on a date with him knowing that he was short, and I had a great ass time. So yeah, you told me so, you told me so, you told me so. And go off, short kings. Go off, short kings. I mean, I've always said I love a short king, just not for me. And listen, would I still prefer my husband to end up being 6'5"? 100% yes. Okay, that's for sure. Crazier things have happened. Had a great time with a guy who was 5'11". And yeah, so that's just another win for my book. So compared to the New Year's situation that was terrible to this guy, I needed the win. I'm so thankful for it. And honestly, cool guy. Like if nothing else continues, cool guy. So yeah, that was that. I'm going to tell you one story about the date. So we're on the date. And he's like, "What are you, 5'10"? Because we didn't know each other's height on the, the industry app, the one that starts with an RAYA that you're not supposed to say out loud. There's no height on it, but just people's Instagrams are linked. And I'm not going to ask a guy, like when somebody asks me on a date, I'm not going to be like, "How tall are you?" Like, how fucking rude would that be? Thought about it, crossed my mind, but didn't do it. Okay. So anyway, we're on the date. I think when I end up seeing him, I'm like, oh yeah, he's probably 6 foot-ish, whatever. So we're on the date, and a little while into it, he goes, "What are you, 5'10"? And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I'm 5'11", same height as Odell Beckham Jr. I was like, cool. What the fuck was that? Like, well, that was a weird ass comment to make. And I said that. I was like, that's a weird thing to say. And he's like, "Yeah, well, think about it. It'll make sense." And I was like, okay, I don't get it. That was very weird. And I kept kind of looking at him with like a puzzled look, like, "Tell me what you meant." And he just kept being like, "Yeah, you'll figure it out." I'm like, okay, all right. So a little bit later, I was like thinking about it, like Odell Beckham Jr. That's so random. Like, and the only time I've really thought about Odell Beckham Jr. was one time on the Nightcap episode when they asked me to choose between like my type. And it was like two people in a TikTok, and they were both very not my type. And my response was, I think, I'm more of an Odell Beckham Jr. girly. So it clicked. That's what he's talking about. And so I said, "Odell Beckham Jr., have you been doing your research on me?" He's like, "Yeah, by the way, great podcast. You've really got something going there. But you talk about height a lot." And I almost gave you the out on the date because, like, I don't know if you know this, but like dates cost money. And I wasn't going to like go take a girl out on a date who was so pretentious about the height meaning so much to her. You know what I mean? And I was like, I deserve that. I deserve that. And you know what? I was like, and I'm not going to like lie about it. Yeah, I do talk about height a lot. I'm 5'10". And he's like, "Yeah, well, by the way, Odell Beckham Jr. is really 5'11". I Googled his height." So he's not even your type then, because he's not even the height that you require. And I was like, damn, Gina, you got me. You got me. But anyway, so I needed a win, and I got one, and that's just the type of energy I am accepting at this time. Okay, so back to the important topic that I keep mentioning, my birthday. Ha ha ha. Had a great day yesterday. I talked about it, I think, on a few different episodes. I don't like doing a birthday dinner because, one, it's like 10, 15 people at a table, and I feel like I can't really talk to the other part of the crowd, that's at the other end. And so I like the idea of like a cocktail hour or like an open invite brunch situation where I didn't sit down the entire time at brunch yesterday. We were there from 11 to 2:30. Actually, I did kind of sit down once and finally ate a fried chicken crunch wrap, by the way, from Winnie's in Midtown. Shout out. It was delicious. But anyway, so yeah, I just was able to walk around and like mingle with all my friends and kind of like introduce people to each other. And I think for the most part, people kind of stuck within their groups because I invited so many different people from different friend groups that I had. But I loved it. It's exactly what I wanted. It was low key, low effort. not that my friends don't do a wonderful job when they've ever planned me a get together or a party, but like this was just, I might do something big for my 35th, like rent out something and do some sort of party. But this was perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Mimosas, snacks, good convo, low key. Nobody felt pressure to like buy something that wasn't theirs. Nobody felt pressure to be there right at 11 because I said I'll be there from 11 to 2. Just come when you can. Don't come at all. So I had the best time, and then we went to a sports bar situation afterwards, had a great time there, and then we ended it over at my friend's house after that. And then I got home. So my sister Courtney and I have the same birthday 6 years apart. Very strange. January 14th, but 6 years apart. So I just turned 34. She just turned 40. But I ended up calling her like when I got home, which is around, I think, 9:40. And she's like, oh, like, what are you going to do? And I was like, oh, no, I just got home. I changed my jammies, and I giggled out loud how excited I was that I just filled my water bottle and I'm getting into bed at 9:45 on my birthday. That's exactly what I wanted, needed. I was so jazzed about. It made me so horny. So yeah, I was in bed by 9:45. I was like, fucking around on Instagram for a while and reposting some videos and things like that. I think I went to bed at 11, woke up for work this morning, felt great about it, wasn't hungover, which I was surprised about because I was just telling you I hadn't really drank a whole lot for a while. So this is like my first time drinking since about a month ago, like really drinking, like not more than just like a glass of wine. Yeah, I had a lot to drink. I mean, come to think of it, I think I had probably a full bottle of champagne throughout the day. I had a shot of tequila, which was not chilled. I hate that about Houston. Or is it Texas? Like, you have to ask for a chilled shot. They just won't pour you one. And I think in LA it was just assumed, or maybe they were just like chilled and it was like a quick yes. I don't know. Anyway, so had a couple shots here and there. Had a great time. And I was just so happy to be able to have so many of my friends and let's call them family in one place. That is what made me really happy. And they all humored me. We got a group photo. So that was like, I love that. I love documenting memories. So yeah, and I just feel like I've always said this. I've never been scared to get older. I mean, the white hairs, like that does piss me the fuck off. And if that would stop, I would be really excited about it. But beyond that, I'm totally fine with getting older. 34, I feel like I've got my shit together, which I have had for a while, right? But I'm just feeling really positive, really comfortable, really solidified, happy. I mean, good days and bad days, of course. Like, I just had a therapy session, and I hadn't seen her since like before Christmas, so we had to go through the whole down low of all the drama that's been going on and whatnot. And she was like, because I had given her a heads up of what happened through text message, and she's like, I was prepared for you to come in, kind of upset and down, and she's like, she's like, I just don't even think I've seen you this glowy, this happy in a long time. And I was like, well, it's the chin. You know what I mean? Like, it's the chin. She's like, no, seriously, you look happy and confident. And after everything that you just told me that has happened, like, that is some serious growth. You are killing it, like with my work, with the podcast, things like that. And I was like, yeah, I am. And I'm so excited about it. I was like, and she was like, I mean, of course, like, we've got a lot of work to do. It's like, let me have this. Okay, let me have one goddamn day, Michelle. No, she didn't. She was totally fine. And I was like, okay, but now that we've had this happen, we do need to start looking into why I'm attracted to emotionally unavailable men. And like, so that's going to be a hard one. You know what I mean? I need some guidance. I need some help there. But guess what? I am healthy and happy, and I'm growing, and I'm blessed to get to grow another year, especially with the shit that happens to me or that I've been through. Like, okay, one more year, that's a blessing. That is a blessing. Although my Uber driver last night, I did feel like was trying to poison me with a coffee treat from Indonesia that he forced me to eat, and I pretended to eat it. At that point, I did start sharing my location with my friend because I was like, this is weird. Why is he so intent on me eating this caramel coffee treat? Anyway, big segue there. But yeah, 34, I feel full of love and happiness and graciousness and gratefulness. And I'm excited for the year ahead. As far as like life goes, but also stuff for the pod. What else? I was saying, like, I do my free writing exercise, and I wrote that I just feel so comfortable in my own skin. And I thought that was so ironic because I literally just got work done to myself. So it's like, were you comfortable in your own skin because you had to fix something? But you guys know what I mean. Like, whatever, plastic surgery, do what you got to do if you want to tweak yourself. But my double chin never stopped me before. And that's what I think is important to remember. Like, it never stopped me from making a video podcast where you guys could see the double chin. It never stopped me from taking photos and selfies and, things like that showed off my double chin. So, yeah, I'm making some minor improvements to my physical appearance that I quite like and I'm comfortable with. I'm just going to continue to, as far as like life goes, I'm real big into go with the flow right now. We are going to go with the flow. We are going to understand that, like I said before, and like so many of my guests have said, like, you got to work hard to be successful, but timing is everything. Not going to push or pressure anything. I am going to like pick up the pace a little bit because I feel prepared to do so. But I'm doing it on my own timeline, I'm on my own shit. So yeah, happy birthday to me and my sister, Coco, 34. I mean, that's me. I'm 34. She is 41. Wait a second. If I'm 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. No, that's right. Okay. I'm 34. She's 40. Wow, that was really hard. Math is hard. That's kind of it as far as my birthday goes. I got some really thoughtful gifts, which, not that I'm surprised by it, but I was just really touched by it. One of my friends got me, because I had Bree from the Plant Project on a couple weeks ago episode, and I think it was episode 69. And, she cried and I had to run out and get her Kleenex. And then she's like, you really should have Kleenex in your podcast studio. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. So I had a friend get me a cute little Kleenex holder for the studio. I had someone get me like a wine bottle that's actually a speaker for the studio. I had someone get me a like scent thing for the studio. Like, and the card was like, now that you have like your sound and everything right, like now you got to get the scent right. And so it's just like really cute, thoughtful little gifts. They were thinking about me and what makes me really happy, which is the podcast and my whiners. So someone addressed a card like happy birthday whiner, and it's like, I love that shit. So thank you for everyone who came and celebrated with me and wished me a happy birthday. And yeah, to another good year, to an even better year. Keep on keeping on, I do have to say I have a really good wine of the week. And it goes back to when I had my niece help me with the Instacart situation. So, when you I do not care to Instacart or order groceries online in any way. One, they hike up the prices so much. Two, I just feel like I have a list. I know exactly what I want. I'm just going to go to the store and get it myself. Obviously, it's the last time I used Instacart was the first time I had COVID, by the way. I ordered all this stuff and I specifically wanted avocado toast, okay? That's all I fucking wanted. And they brought me everything, but they brought me the toast and no avocados. What the hell? Or maybe it was avocado and no toast. But I was like, see, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. So anyway, I landed into Houston, literally got on the tarmac and got the notification that they were like, oh, they didn't have whatever I ordered. Pedialyte, Mucinex, NyQuil, which they were like, you need to be present with an ID. So I chanced it. I think that's pretty stupid. You see that I'm getting all this sick stuff. I'm not getting NyQuil to get hammered underage, bitch. I get it. I get the safety protocol of it, but also use your common sense, the delivery person, right? I don't know. I'm sure they have to actually scan the ID and it maybe goes against them if they don't. But so I got home and there was no NyQuil or Mucinex because those were things that you needed ID for. So whatever, that wasn't charged to me. Fine. Annoying, but so I stopped at Walmart. Actually, I stopped at a gas station by Hobby Airport on the way home, which was like, honestly, I was not in my right mind because it was like a very isolated gas station and 100% like somebody was just robbed there yesterday or the day before. Like it was a very sketchy gas station and they didn't even have NyQuil anyway. So then I stopped at Walmart, which Walmart's a crazy place to be at 11:30 at night. Scary. Someone just approached me in the parking lot. Like, in the middle of the night, a man approaches a woman. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, he seemed to be kind and nice, but like, no, don't talk to me. That's scary. Anyway, the point is, my wine of the week is I ordered vitamin C packets, okay? They didn't have that, so the person used their best judgment and they made a modification. The vitamin C packets that I purchased originally were like $9, maybe $10. And the person got a replacement of like, they're like Energizer vitamin C powder. You like put it on your tongue. You don't even mix it with water. And it was $20. I cannot believe that. Like, and I know that then they're like, they'll probably contacted you or whatever, but there has to be a system set up in place. If you don't contact the person, you can't go over a certain price. Like, just don't get the thing, right? Like, I know I was just saying I'm pissed about the NyQuil, but I did understand. But like, is there a system in place? And I'm not a user of this, so maybe I fucked up. But like, there's no way that was the best option next to the $9 vitamin C that they were out of, that you chose the $20 vitamin C, like, miracle fucking tablet. So you know what I mean? Like, I just think it was a lot because I tipped a percentage on the order. So I tipped 20% on the order. So this person upped the order. Does that make sense? Like, let's say the bill was going to be $50. Well, then it was $60 because they bought a $10 more expensive something. So I don't know. It was a very annoying thing. And when you're unwell, it's like, I just fucking want the NyQuil or the Mucinex. And now I just paid $20 for vitamin C robot tablets. Like, no, I was not a fan of that. And I'm literally going to actually go try and return them. I don't know if you can do that. But I have the email inventory. I guess maybe that counts as my receipt. I'm not sure, but how fucking wild. I don't know. Maybe that's normal. But for me, a non-Instacart user, very appalled. Appalling. Very upset. So that's my wine of the week. And that's the solo episode for y'all. So happy New Year. Happy 2024. Happy chinning to me and happy birthday to me. Love it. What a great start to the year. Also, though, like, major apologies for my appearance today. I already told you it's freezing. The power's going to go off at any second. I showered quickly in case the water was going to stop working. Like, I just wasn't in the mood to put on makeup and then, like, potentially be very annoyed not being able to take it off. Like, it was not going to be the route I went today. So, happy Thirsty Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. If you didn't get me a birthday present and you want to, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think I would want? I'll tell you. A star rating on Spotify, a written out review on Apple Podcasts, sharing the podcast with a friend, the link or my Instagram. That would make your girl very, very horny. Yeah, that would be so exciting. And let me know you did it. You know what I mean? So I can thank you for it. Besides that, I'll see you next week for another episode. I'm going to go binge watch Married at First Sight on the rest of my Monday night off. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.